Okay, folks, I trust all is well. What we usually do is just read the titles of the last 7 daily inspirations, and then if you guys feel like doing one specifically, then you can tell me about it, and we can go from there. Here we go. This is the last 7. July 15th, aligning with the truth within. July 16th, achieving the state of peace by seeing the face of divinity on all. July 17th, the essence of the present moment is peace. July 18th, allowing the present moment to become your workshop. July 19th, the ego and the illusion of separation. July 20th, why do we keep repeating past patterns? And July 21 is why do we support negative beliefs about ourselves?
I like the last one.
Okay. That would be the July 21st. Why do we support negative beliefs about ourselves? All right. It's 2 paragraphs long. And here we go. Paragraph 1. When you experience anger, resentment, judgment, anxiety, jealousy, or hatred, do not be critical of yourself, for none of these represent the truth in you. They are simply lies you have been programmed to believe are useful and true. These energies and emotions are tools of the ego's mindset, programmed into us as being natural, normal, and rational reactions and responses to God's children and creations. These false concepts veil and obscure the loving light-filled truth within. The more we buy into these false concepts as true, the more they hide who all of us really are. Being love's creations, we cannot use these energies and emotions and still feel good and at peace. The ego understands that there's a direct correlation between how badly we feel and how willing we are to judge. The worse we feel about ourselves, the quicker we are to anger, and the more willing we are to judge and thus support these negative beliefs about ourselves as real and true. Paragraph 2. Today, every time a negative thought or belief about self or others tries to enter and pollute your mind, say to yourself, I am love's creation. We are all one, all forever, the love that God is. My function in this world is to be, in my own unique way, the loving light and guide that God created me to be. Knowing this, I now dismiss and no longer acknowledge all negative beliefs about myself and others as true. I no longer support the ego's lies as true. I am done punishing myself and others with my own thoughts. Ego, I no longer serve you. Now I only serve God, love. Today, I humbly, yet wholeheartedly, ask God to shine through me so that I may guide my brothers and sisters back into alignment with the light in them. God, please allow my light to shine bright. God, please allow me to see everyone through your loving, non-judgmental lens. Today, through me, may my brothers and sisters find their way back home to you and the truth within. Amen. So, the title again is Why Do We Support Negative Beliefs about ourselves as about ourselves?
I think as far as I only realized this lately, maybe in the last month or two, and it's obvious. I mean, this year I've spent a lot of time with this course, and I've also done a lot of plant medicine ceremonies, um, and I think I've spent my entire life trying to feel better about myself. I can go back as far as I was 6 or 7. I know for sure when I was like 9 years old, I used to sit and think there's something wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. Last year, when I was in second grade, I was much better. Let's figure out what exactly I was doing this date on 1 year ago at the exact same time because things were better. I think I was doing better in school at that time. So I think that's been my base that there's something wrong with me. I don't know, there's something wrong. And of course, there's also super ego because I kept getting that message again and again. I get my mom and my dad, like our kids are really not good kids and stuff like that. But there's just this, I've only realized it this year how much of me has I've spent my life. There's something wrong with me. is I need to fix this. And life's turned out, reasonably okay. I went to a good school. I can support myself and can make money in the market and everything. But it's there was like a discomfort, like all the time, 24/7.
You
Oh,
know, yeah, you know, we all do that. When you see somebody who is, oh man, this is great. I'm fine. Yeah, I don't have any problems. What that is simply a cover up to try to avoid looking inside to see how you feel. Okay, that's simply a cover up. Some of us are lucky enough to be at least aware of it, so we can deal with it. If we go into denial and just use a cover up of, try to pretend and try to convince other people that there's nothing, that we're fantastic, there's nothing wrong with us. Oh yeah, man, I am the greatest. All that is an attempt not to look inside to see how bad you feel. Okay, some of us are aware that there's something missing, you know, and we start looking and we start looking. Both of those things, when we get caught up in all that bad feeling about ourselves, at least we're aware of what the problem is. That's the first step into just leaving that behind.
Yeah, so get like a little journal, right? And then whenever you have a thought that's less than loving in nature about yourself, just write it down. Okay. I'm feeling self-judgmental about how how I reacted yesterday or whatever. Or I'm feeling angry about how my mom treated me. Or I'm feeling less than perfect because I'm supporting all these lies about myself as true. And so it's good to get your misperceptions on paper. Okay. So you can start to see how unreal they are to the loving truth in you. Because God is love, right? And you are God's creation, so you are only love. And love has many expressions such as kindness, peace, generosity, compassion, mercy, grace. So all those things are the truth about you. Now, what you have to do is you have to start supporting only the truth in you as true, and stop sacrificing your time, focus, and energy on the delusion, on the anger, resentment, judgment, anxiety, jealousy, hatred, guilt, shame. And so, okay, you're there, you have a thought, it seems dark, you put a name to that dark thought, it seems to be blocking your light or your joy or your peace. You put a name to that and you put it on paper. And then you start to remember that I'm not here to support this lie as true. This is just a program that I've taught myself, and my family, my friends, and my peers have taught me. And it was just reread to you over and over again. And so now you think that the fairy tale is true. And so the only reason you are supporting that negativity about yourself as true is because you've supported it as true for so many decades. And so it's been reinforced. But even if it is reinforced, it doesn't make it true. And so you have to start using your free will, not to support the lies about you as true, but only to support the truth about you as true. And so if you're judging yourself, say to yourself, okay, I'm judging myself for X or Y reason. I co-created my journey with the divine, and therefore my journey is perfect for me. I now see my journey as perfect for me, and I forgive myself for my misperceptions of what my journey feels like. And so now I use this moment not to add to the delusion or to the darkness, but to bring light into the darkness. And the more you choose the symbols of the light over the symbols of the darkness, the brighter your day will be, the more peaceful your day will be, the more joyful your day will be. But if you continue to support the lies about you as true, then the darker your days will be, the less joyous your days will be, and the less peaceful your days will be. But this is good news, because in the end, after all is said and done, it is simply a choice you make. In every moment, in every situation, it's just a choice you make between the light and the darkness, between truth and the lies. And so just practice taking greater personal responsibility for your thoughts. You are controlling your thoughts. The truth in you is controlling your thoughts when your thoughts are loving in nature. The ego's past programs are controlling your thoughts when your thoughts are unloving in nature, when they're fearful and judgmental and hateful and shameful and guiltful. And so only two things can control your mind: you, the truth in you, or your past programs. Okay. So if you're at peace, if you're joyous, then know that you are controlling your own thoughts. If you're angry, resentful, hateful, judgmental of self and others, your past programs are in control. And all you have to do is recognize when you're out of control and take back control of your own thoughts and mind. So when the ego calls out for judgment, you do the opposite of what it demands, and you forgive yourself and others. When the ego says you're not spiritual enough, or you're not good enough, or you're not whatever enough, you stop. You know those thoughts never lead you to peace of mind and joy, and you simply do the opposite of that. And you pat yourself on the back for all you have gone through and overcome to help you become who you are today. And that's what you do just over and over again, over and over again. You replace the lies with the truth. You replace the darkness with the light, over and over again, until the light becomes your natural state of mind, until love becomes your natural state of mind, your center for all your thoughts.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions regarding how to let go of our past programming?
Today was kind of interesting. I was saying that I was trying to get more sleep. And so I slept late. Instead of waking up, I just slept in, woke up at, I don't know, 11 or something. And usually when I wake up that late, I was like, how could you do that? You woke up so late. Like, what's wrong with you? And today I was like, I woke up late. Hmm, cool.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, because your body needs the rest that it needs, for you to be productive. And so don't judge yourself if you sleep past whatever time you usually wake up. It's just the body needed it, and you gave it to the body. So that was a form of grace that you gave to yourself. And so you're teaching yourself that you're worthy of grace, and that you're worthy of
Mm,
you're worthy of that time, that extra time. And so yeah, whenever you wake up, you wake up.
right, right. Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, and you can see there how the ego attacks, and how you have those two choices, right? You wake up later than usual. If your ego is in control of your mind, you judge yourself as lazy, as incompetent, as whatever, you know. But it puts you down. If the truth in you takes back control of your mind, then hey, I slept a little later. Thank you God for giving me this extra time to sleep and rest. Thank you God that I have the financial ability not to be worried about getting to work late. and your response now becomes gratitude. Or your response becomes gratitude and also grace to yourself. And so then you're teaching yourself that you're worthy of grace, and you're teaching yourself that that God's sacred co-design with you is true, because God decided along with you, hey, let's wake up Samir later on today. Let's give him a little more rest. And and so, hey, you woke up. You said, okay, cool. And so you trusted God. So it's a form of it's helping you learn how to trust God more and trust in the divine design that you have co-created with God. And the cool thing is that you can do that with any situation. In any situation, you do the same thing. You just say, okay, am I using the ego's past programs to think about my situation right now? Or am I actually in control of my mind and thinking and using love's thoughts and words? And then you just thank the situation for helping you practice remembering that you have free will, that you can choose peace of mind instead of the ego's chaos. Anybody, any comments on self-forgiveness? No? Nobody likes self-forgiveness. Nobody's worthy of self-forgiveness.
You know, we look at ourselves and we recognize that, yeah, we've made a mistake because we were fearful of something or not, not trusting ourselves. You know, any time that we've made a mistake is because we didn't recognize who we really are, and just recognize that, oh, it's in the past. I made this mistake because I didn't know enough. And a lot of times you can say to yourself, if I had known then what I know now, I would have made a different choice. Just, it's a matter, it's a learning opportunity. Look at ourselves and see that, okay, yeah, so, I didn't make the perfect choice before. That's okay.
And just in case Luna and Isabella were looking at the July 21st daily inspirational message.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and Samir, the last few sentences of paragraph 1, it says, the ego understands that there's a direct correlation between how badly we feel and how willing we are to judge self or others. The worse we feel about ourselves, the quicker we are to anger, and the more willing we are to judge and thus support these negative beliefs about ourselves as real and true. And then in paragraph 2, it says, today, it'll be good for you to check it out after the class. It says, today, every time a negative thought or belief of self or others tries to enter and pollute your mind, say to yourself, I am love's creation. We are all one, all forever, the love that God is. My function in this world is to be, in my own unique way, the loving light and guide that God created me to be. And it goes on. And so use any time, any moment where there is that form of self-judgment, not to dive deeper into the darkness, but to practice remembering who you truly are and what you were created by God to be, which is the light of the world in each moment and situation. And that your light gets brighter the more you support yourself. Your light gets dimmer the less you support yourself. And so your light dims, not because of anything that happens out there. Your light dims or brightens because of the thoughts that you choose to support as true. And so no longer support the ego's lies as true.
But isn't the ego that, how do we improve ourselves? I mean, if we're not whipping ourselves, I mean, if you don't whip the horse is not gonna run. Right?
Well, you're already whipping yourself by choosing judgmental thoughts about yourself. And so that gives you the opportunity to choose once again, to choose in alignment with the mind of God. And so whenever you're feeling supporting non-judgmental, supporting non-loving thoughts is real, you're whipping yourself. And so it's just simply a call from the universe to you, inviting you to choose differently, to choose once again, to choose in alignment with the mind of God. And so now you can use all those times where the ego has you whip yourself, not to dive deeper into the darkness, but instead to use it as a practice. Oh, okay, this is a perfect practice situation for me to shift from fear to love, from condemnation to compassion, from self-hate or self-condemnation to self-love. And when you do that, you start to see how God even uses the quote-unquote bad for good. So now God is using this opportunity that you're offering yourself right now that seems bad because you're judging yourself or whatever, but you shifted it to something good. And so that's how God uses everything that seems to be quote-unquote bad for good. And when you see that everything in your life that the ego says is bad, you can use for good, then gratitude starts to become your response to more and more of your daily situations and interactions. Any comments or questions?
Hi, it's me. It's just was washing my hair. I don't want to be in the camera right now yet. Yes. I just listened a few moments ago, a lady saying, I don't trust. Things have happened in my past, so I'm not even listening to music. You know, it's like it was so painful what I went through with this guy. And I can't like engage again. I'm just not even listening to music. So means she is in, of course, she believes in a situation. She's stuck, you know, in the feelings and the ego, and giving reality to situations like that. I was talking to her on you know, trying to let go, forgive him, forgive herself, and you know, making an effort. She said, I don't want to forgive. I don't think, well, I don't know. What is that? I think it's good that what he did to me, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, but it's been like that on her marriage, I think, for a while. The blame to each other, you know. So I think it's a pattern that sometimes it's hard to break. I can see it's like one of them is addicted to bring the past to the present, or to bring some anxiety and drama, negativity, and when it is absent, because I heard that some people saying the same way, when it's absent, something is peaceful, it's like, oh, I can't, something is going wrong. You know, I heard something is going wrong. I can't. So they look for a problem. Actually, the lady that was doing my nails, she was telling me, hey, man, we're talking about some Cubans, no everybody's Cuban, but I say like, no, sometimes, you know, men are mostly peaceful. Men are so like, you know, easygoing. Sometimes women are more like into our head and thinking and our feelings. And she said, no. Because they have a belief, you know, and because they have a belief or one or two experiences they had, they think everybody's like that. So how do we get out of that belief system? Of course, learning and reading, educating ourselves. And I think my mind goes like, oh, they are so far away to even thinking on the possibility that not everybody is the same. You know, it's like levels of wake up, you know. Yesterday, I think it was the guys were talking on in the morning, yesterday, Sunday, on the levels of wake up, levels of growth, and how much it takes to people. I don't know, they have to sometimes touch the rock bottom to realize there's something, a different way of seeing things. And no, the message today makes me believe, you know, now on how many times we bring those patterns to the present, how many times we are still on the paradigms of the ego, and then we won't grow if we continue bringing it to the present, and doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good. And what feels good is in a new, blank new slot of day that's saying, I gotta make my best of this. There's the possibility of light. Yes, let me hold on to this light. Let me hold on to this situation, and then the more that we do it, the more it will expand. The more good things we're gonna be attracting as we're gonna grow on a frequency, on an energy that's gonna be attracting even better and more. So I pray to align into that, higher frequency of attracting good things in my life.
Yeah, it's we have to remember that forgiveness is really for ourselves, because it brings us peace to forgive and let go of those judgments. And so whenever that lady is feeling very judgmental towards whatever her partner did to her, if she cannot forgive, then she will not have peace, and she will just carry that burden of judgment with her. And if she hasn't done that with her partner, then maybe she hasn't done that with a number of people, and so she's carrying a lot of weight with her, a lot of judgments with her. And then those judgments act like a blanket over you, over your sight. And so now you see everything through that judgmental lens. And so she's been programmed, and she's programmed herself to react that way to her relationships. And so now she sees all the relationships through judgment's eyes. And obviously, you can only do that for so long before you say to yourself, "Man, either A, I don't want to have any more relationships because the ending is always the same." That's what the ego tries to convince you of. Or we can maybe practice forgiveness, practice trusting that God has a plan for us, and that God will send us the right people at the right time, and that all is working, because God is perfect love. All is working on our behalf for good. And so it's just a matter of reprogramming the mind and letting go of all those false concepts that only bring you suffering and pain. And you have to ask yourself, why do I keep supporting thoughts that only bring me suffering and pain? Maybe deep down inside, she doesn't believe she's worthy of peace. And then so she chooses situations in which she can judge in order to feel that lack of peace. And so you can only do that for so long before you go a little cuckoo. So
but I find that there is a gain. They gain something. There is always a reason why they do this. Because, like, I heard one day, I said to her, "Oh, your mom is doing great. I see her so, like, more relaxed, more nice, more, friendly." And she said, "No, don't tell her that. Don't tell her that, because then she won't take her medications. Then she won't, do the things that she needs to do." And, so she said, "No, don't tell her that." I was like, back in my mind, I was like, oh, they gain one by saying, "Hey, you need to keep pushing. Hey, you're not doing well yet. Hey," and I was like, to motivate people. So when they are saying those things like, not doing well, this relationship or this situation, or this guy is doing this and this, they gain attention. People go like, "Oh my God, come on, give me a hug," or, "This is so bad. I know, I understand. Oh, this guy is terrible, right? Yeah, you're right. They want somebody also in their side to think like them and feel the same way. And we humans, like me, we go like, "Yeah, I hear you. I know how it must be to be in your shoes. I understand." And because the compassion goes like going to the same level a little bit, and then from that point on, try to raise up. Yeah, there is a gain. Like when people scream, when people complain, when people get angry, You know, like a group of people go to the streets and scream, and they gain something at the end. Then the attention, the media, and the government, or the mayor of the city will listen and to the complaints. This is not the best way, of course, to do a complaint. It's not like I'm pro of that, but it's like they gain something, for good or for bad, but it's protesting.
Isn't that a call for love? Isn't that what we were talking before? That when
Exactly.
that's a call for love.
Yeah, all of that is a call for love. In reality, that's what they're calling out for. But they've taught themselves that the only way that they can receive that love is by creating a certain amount of drama. And so they've taught themselves that, and so that's the thing that they think they need to achieve that love from others. But that only gives you a false sense of love, a false sense of peace. It's not everlasting peace. It's like you judge the situation, or you tell somebody, oh, how difficult or terrible this is, and for a second you think because you projected it out, you think you release it, right? And you think it's out there now, but guess what? It's still inside here. All those thoughts are still inside of you. It never leaves you. The only way that it leaves you is through forgiveness and love and mercy and grace. That's the only way you remove yourself from the delusions of this world. And so if they're unwilling to forgive, they're currently unwilling to, or they feel unworthy of true peace. And they haven't been reminded of how to achieve true peace. So our job is simply to become an example to them of what real peace feels like, real lasting peace feels like. Because the ego would say, okay, somebody judges me. I judged him back. Oh, I have peace because I judged him back. But guess what? You don't have true peace, because you still carry that judgment inside of you, no matter what happens. And so if you want true peace, then the response to judgment is forgiveness. It has to be some expression of love for you to achieve true peace of mind and joy. A true peace of mind and joy that you want and that you're truly worthy of. But of course would say those you might be pretty good at creating pain in your life, but it's not limitless. You can't do it forever. There must be a better way, and that better way is show them how to show them a way to true peace, not through an eye for an eye. That's the ego, an eye for an eye. Oh, if I do an eye for an eye, then that's justice, according to the ego. Well, like Gandhi always said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. And so it might seem to the ego that the ego gets its way and it judges, and it thinks it has peace because it judged back, and it thinks it's strong because it judged back. Ooh, I judged back. Look how strong I am. But that's false strength. That's actual weakness. Because you're saying that something other than a godly response is appropriate for God's creations. Only a godly response is appropriate for God's creations. And so, yeah, there's a way to achieve self-loving boundaries and still do so with love and compassion. But yeah, some people are just addicted to the ego's programming. And that's something that they've been taught for generations, But there is another way. And all you have to do is read the daily inspirations to find that other way. Any comments or questions? All right.
And when do we bring in gratitude for their behavior? Or how is it only if we are getting triggered by their behavior?
Well, you bring gratitude in, you practice bringing in gratitude as quickly as possible. Because the ego wants you to judge, right? That's the ego's the first response in some form. And the ego always answers first and loudest, right? And so when the ego answers with judgment, you don't achieve peace, right? And so your true goal is peace. Your true goal is to be joyous. And so how do you get there? You get there by remembering that whatever it is that happened, God is allowing me the free will to see this in a way that would bring me closer to the state of peace. So in some way, shape, or form, this situation is going to be used for my good to help me grow, heal, and awaken. And so when you recognize that, gratitude becomes your response. But you don't have to wait for gratitude. You can practice making gratitude your primary response to any situation. And that's a practice. If you judged 100 times a day, then guess what? You have the opportunity to practice gratitude 100 times a day. And little by little, gratitude starts to become your primary response to the situation instead of judgment and anger and resentment and shame and guilt and all that stuff. And so the idea of gratitude is that, you know what? Practice making gratitude your first response, no matter what the ego says. Okay, I'm just in some argument right now, and we're going back and forth. Wait a second. God is using this in some way, shape, or form to help me grow, heal, and awaken. So thank you, God. I know there's something here for me. And so thank you. I trust there's something here for me. And so the idea is to practice over and over again, making gratitude your primary response to any situation and to anybody. And when you walk hand in hand with gratitude, you walk hand in hand with peace of mind and joy. If everything that is happening, if you see that everything that is happening to you is happening for your good, what other response other than gratitude would you have? And so that's all you have to do, is recognize that there is another way I can answer this situation. I can answer in a way that will bring me peace. And the doorway to peace is gratitude, or forgiveness, or compassion, or mercy, or grace. The door to peace is always some expression of the love that God is. And all you have to do is remind yourself that you're worthy of being at peace. And so if you're worthy of peace, what's the big deal about gratitude? Offer gratitude. Offer gratitude, remembering that you're worthy of peace. Yeah. Comments or questions? Jen? Or Duna?
It's such a beautiful skill when a beautiful, I would say, attitude and a practice to say thank you, or let me see the gratitude out of this situation. I yesterday, well, yes, we were supposed to be flying with my daughter to Michigan, and so many people missed their flights the day before because of the Microsoft situation, that they couldn't update it right, and whatever. It messed up the computers. Many people couldn't fly. And so one lady was in my line, She said, "Oh my God, it was my birthday, and instead of going back home, I stay a couple of days more. I took a cruise and I enjoyed my 40 years. Oh my God, like never before." She was grateful that because she stayed, she got to take a cruise with friends that invited her, and she had the best birthday ever. And my daughter and I and another friend that were supposed to be flying to Michigan couldn't go. We were actually in the plane, and someone from the government said to the pilot, everybody has to leave. Everybody has to empty the plane. And so the pilot, what he did is pick up the microphone and said, everybody has to go. I can't fly more than the hours that are allowed. So this guy was flying, I think, 12 hours already. And he was about to take again another plane because the airline needed to, bring people to their destinations. And I was like exhausting the pilots. So I guess I'm grateful that someone said, like, we have to stop. They cannot be for the people. Already is tired. These pilots are tired, so tired. Do not allow them. So go ahead. Some of them were running so they can close their doors and they can, take off. So the planes will go to another city. This guy was like, go ahead, everybody, hurry up. We need to take off. We need to leave. And someone came right on time. I said to the pilot, no. You guys are already over the past the time. Regulations won't, government won't allow. So they had to, send us out, everybody. And I had to come back home and stay. I was grateful because who knows, it's so dangerous to be like me. If I be driving more than 12 hours without sleep, it will be so detrimental, maybe, for my family, or I may have an accident, whatever. And I got to stay on those 3 days that I was supposed to be in Michigan, working here, being productive, relaxed, like if I were outside, but I'm here. So I find the gratitude that out of all of this, it's such a beautiful skill because, it humbles you and it is always, things happen for a reason, even in the middle of the chaos. Things happen for a reason, for us to find what is the light here. Something better always comes out of the situation. And trusting that is what happens at the end.
Yeah, and that's
I trust.
that's the skill we can all have. We can all practice. And the ego will give us a lot of opportunities to practice choosing that skill, to practice the skill of gratitude. And so whatever happens to us, the ego has puts us down for, as a perfect opportunity to practice gratitude, to practice remembering that God is in control, and that because God is perfect love, this situation here is happening in some way, shape, or form for my good, to help me grow, heal, and awaken. And so imagine if you can just walk hand in hand with gratitude and make gratitude your primary response to anything that happens in your life. What would your life look like if you just practice trusting God, remembering that He's perfect love, and that everything that is happening in your life is happening for your good, that God is designing it for your good. All you have to do is remember that. And you remember that through the act of gratitude. Gratitude shows you that you know that this is happening for your good. And because we're all one, right? It's happening for everybody's good. So everybody in that plane who was delayed or whatever, it happened for their good. Something good was going to come up of that. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is look back into your past and see how things that seem challenging or difficult or dark, those kind of things brought you the most wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and made you the more compassionate person that you are today. And so if that happened in the past, if everything that the ego said was bad actually helped you become a more compassionate and loving person, then you see how everything in the end turns out on your behalf. for your good. So that's a good thing to practice this week is let us practice responding with gratitude to anything that comes our way. And the more you get to practice that, the more natural and normal that behavior becomes. And when that behavior becomes more natural and normal, and you have all of a sudden you have more peace of mind and joy, you go, you know what, this is kind of cool. I like this exercise. And so just
It
remind,
is.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Just remind yourself, as God's child in creation, you are forever worthy of peace. And so go ahead and forgive. Go ahead and trust God instead of your fears and anxiousness and doubts. Go ahead, try it. You've tried it the other way so often. You've tried anxiousness and fear and doubt. You've tried guilt and shame. You've tried being angry and resentful and hateful and revengeful. We've all tried that. And it never delivers to us a state of peace. Never. But luckily, thanks to free will, the state of peace is always available to us. No matter the situation, the state of peace is right there, just waiting for you. Just waiting for you to choose forgiveness so you can look its way. Or just waiting for you to choose compassion. And there it is. Peace is right there. Peace is always just one little choice away. Whatever the ego's story is, no matter how complicated, complex, dark, challenging the ego makes the story, peace is right there, just waiting for you. And so all you have to do is remind yourself, I can choose peace instead of this. I can choose forgiveness instead of condemnation, and thus have peace. And so any situation that challenge you this week, that challenge you to forgive or to offer, be more compassionate, be grateful to God, because all he's doing is helping you practice trusting him more. And when you practice trusting God and the divine design, and you practice solidifying that foundation that God is using all for my good, then you'll start to see that, yeah, you know what? This kind of feels good. I kind of like this. Let me just keep choosing this. I have free will. I can choose forgiveness over condemnation anytime, you know. And thus I can achieve peace instead of conflict and chaos any moment. And so become a beacon of that for other people. That there is another way. Comments or questions about how to depart the ego's delusional mind-centered world and come back to peace?
For me,
Yeah,
sorry.
coaching.
Oh, for me, well, one, I really love in the You Have Chosen to Remember book, looking at as the God self and the ego self, because there's one thing to be like self-analytical, but then there's another thing to be self-critical when we're just like, you're such an idiot, you know, the head's like, you're an idiot, you're a jerk, or whatever the inner critic is doing, and it's clearly the ego. So I like to, it's like, oh, well, that's my ego self, or that's my God self, because my God self would never be so critical like that in a harsh way. I think that helps me distinguish it. But for me to get out of it, I often like to go in nature, to go walk on the earth. There's just, I try to find things that I could do that get me out of the head and more into my heart. So do something I love, or, switch it so that, because the head could go on forever and ever down a dark path. Once, we could dive into the darkness and it will just keep getting darker. But if we dive into the light or the joy or the love, we get ourselves out of that. So for me, like, I love hiking or going to a lake or something like that. And that just helps me just shift out of the ego thinking. So, and I'm guessing you guys all have other good strategies to get you into your heart. So if anyone has other strategies, I love to hear them as well.
This course.
Nice.
My practice starts by praying in the morning, meditating, writing my gratitude list, sharing it with my 2 other folks that we join a group. Then also exercising. Exercising helps me, makes me feel better. It's one of the ways to release any energies that I store in the body sometimes. Drinking water, having a good breakfast, and reading something positive, listening to videos, listening to sim lessons, things like that, and seeing what my priorities are for the day. That gives me peace. Gives me peace to also accomplish things that I have to do during the daytime, and looking for well-being for other people as well. What can I do to take care of things that I haven't? Sometimes I do a mental search when I feel uneasy. Sometimes I feel worried or anxious about something. I do a mental search on what's going on me, because I don't feel peaceful now. And it's something that I have either overreacted or said something out of my impulsivity, not necessarily out of my heart. So then I try to work about, doing some alignment between my heart and my mind, and breathing and breathe out, forgiving, letting go, making a space for something new, to align myself and be more in the divinity of who we are and stuff like that. So try to practice the principles, try to practice unity principles, and apply it. Praying, meditating, it's a beautiful way to feel peace. But I will say one of the best when I'm at work and feel so stressed, because there is a long way and the quicker way for me is breathing, laying down flat, horizontal, and do breathing. Just try not to think about anything, and doing deep breathing, and then long as possible, and breathing out. Trying to, hug myself with my both arms crossed on top of my chakra. I mean the pleural, the solar plexus. Sorry, and then tight it there when I breathe in, and then loosen up. That gives me peace and keeps me in good shape.
That's a lot of strategies there.
Yeah, try to, yes.
Yeah. And try when you're lying down, try that gratitude thing. And what you want to do is just offer gratitude to God. So what you want to do is just close your eyes and visualize wave after wave leaving your body of gratitude towards God. And then just feel those waves and waves of gratitude to God, and visualize and feel waves and waves of love from God to you. So when you're breathing in God's love, and you're breathing out your gratitude to God. And just keep doing that over and over and over again. You breathe in your gratitude. You breathe out your gratitude to God, and you breathe in God's love for you and God's appreciation for you. Because God created you to be a light in the world. And so he appreciates your efforts. And so feel that appreciation, feel that love coming in from God, like waves. Feel it going through your skin, into your bones, into your heart and organs. And then offer him your gratitude for that love. And do it as long as you can. And you'll start to feel interesting things occurring. Well, to close, I just wanted to go ahead and read the second paragraph one more time, because it's kind of like a prayer, kind of like a little prayer to do whenever a negative thought comes in. And so it's paragraph 2, and it's the July 21 daily inspiration. And it says, today, every time a negative thought or belief of self or others tries to enter and pollute your mind, say to yourself, in quotes, I am love's creation. We are all one, all forever the love that God is. My function in this world is to be, in my own unique way, the loving light and guide that God created me to be. Knowing this, I now dismiss and no longer acknowledge all negative beliefs about myself and others as true. I no longer support the ego's lies as true. I am done punishing myself and others with my own thoughts. Ego, I no longer serve you. Now I only serve God, love. Today, I humbly yet wholeheartedly ask God to shine through me so that I may help guide my brothers and sisters back into alignment with the light in them. God, please allow my light to shine bright. God, please allow me to see everyone through your loving, non-judgmental lens.
Amen.
Today, through me, may my brothers and sisters find their way back home to you and the truth within. Amen.
Wow, wow, wow. Could you share that with us? Could you
Yeah.
share that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful prayer. Or,
And you can go to my website. You have chosen to remember, and,
yes.
daily inspirations, the condensed version. It's July 21. It's the second paragraph.
Can I have your website? www.
Yeah,
James.
Yeah, www.chosentoremember.com.
Okay. Okay. Daily inspirations.
Yeah, daily inspirations is the condensed version. It's paragraph 2 in the condensed version. The July 21st.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I want to be reading this more often.
Any final comments or questions? No, well, it was a beautiful discussion as always.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I think Jen put the website on the chat just so you can see it. You can see the chat.
Yes.
All right. And you want to say anything, Luna, before we depart?
No, thank you.
All right.
I think this book is so good. I know some of you have already seen it, but in case someone's watching the video later on, this book is such a good way to help get rid of negative beliefs about ourselves. So I just want to send that out. You have chosen to remember the book.
It's in Amazon.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And also an Audible.
Okay. Audio. Nice. Nice. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here.
And in Spanish.
I already feel good thinking about the meditations I'm going to be doing when I'm going to be horizontal, the breathing in the waves, of love, feeling my body, and then, breathing out gratitude. What a beautiful connection. Thank you. Thank you.
You're gonna love it. All right.
Already
Thank you,
good.
folks. I'll see all of you soon.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you, James.
Bye. See you again next time. Bye-bye.